From Brick Furniture Studio A at the Austin Area Chamber of Commerce, it's Chamber Chat.
Hi, I'm Elaine Hansen with the Austin Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm joined today by Geoff Baker. Hi, Geoff.
Hi, Elaine.
Geoff is the president and COO for McFarland Truck Line.
That's right.
One of our big members here in Austin community.
Anybody that, gets into business from day one through, 2 days before you retire really quickly understands the impact and the breadth and the depth of regulation, taxation, government influence in what you do. It's terribly important for all members of the Chamber and all members of the Austin business community to really, especially people in a leadership role, to be very actively involved in local and state government.
You choose to take time to serve beyond, serve the community.
Yep. Yes, I do.
And your service is as a member of the City Council?
Yep, that is correct. I was on the utility board for 10 years, loved that. An opening came up, so I was appointed to the open First Ward City Council seat. I felt it was really important that we had a strong business voice on the Austin City Council. Any of the 4 elected bodies are great places to start. It's really easy to run for office. It takes you $5 or $10 to file, and then you go through the election process, perhaps a primary process. The school board is probably a good place to start. Every employer who's trying to attract people to Austin knows that you have to have a great school district to attract people to want to move to town. Frankly, the school board is a spot where we don't have a tendency to see candidates pop out of the woodwork that have a business background. The utility board, that is a very complicated business, and having good and fairly priced utility services in town is mission critical to businesses. That's a great place to get involved. There are so many boards and commissions that are run by all of the elected civic bodies, especially the city and the county. The county is a very big, very complicated government entity. Obviously, they have they have social services, they have roads and bridges, and the police the sheriff's department to run and manage. Obviously, they have that stuff has huge impacts on the business climate in Monroe County, and then the city council touches so many things that impact businesses. Our city is governed by a city council of 7, and all it takes is 4 votes. And so, if you're not getting what you want, if you don't think you're being heard, if you don't think, things are going the way you would like in Austin, reach out to your city council members, again, because you only need 4 people. And that is, I think that's often misunderstood. The county's the same way. The school board's the same way. Those elected officials are, ultimately grant authority to the paid professional staffs.
Right, yeah. Not all of us are going to run for office.
Okay.
But what other things can we do to be involved and to make sure that voice is heard?
It's so easy and so important to just really pay attention to what's going on and to contact your elected officials and tell them about what you see, be a resource for them, reach out, talk to them about your issues, invite your elected officials to your business, develop that relationship, and you really want to do that before issues are presented, so that you have a relationship developed and you can tell your story.
Most of the agendas are available online, so you can kind of see what the topics are going to be. And when there is something that is of interest or might impact you, attend a meeting. The school board, city council, county commissioners, you're welcome to attend. They are public meetings.
I can't encourage people enough to reach out to elected officials, especially before it gets almost too late.
Right.
By the time you're at a city council vote, so much water has gone under the bridge. It's hard to change directions, and so you really want to be up front, hey, here are the issues that my business is having. I want you to think about this. I want you to keep it in mind as you look at other things that are presented at a city council or at a county commission. We'd love to hear from people. That's what we get paid to do.
Well, that's one of the things we do here at the Chamber too, is in that advocacy pillar that we work on is, be a place to disseminate information and also to gather responses and testimonials and stories and connect people together to make a change.
Well, the best thing from an advocacy standpoint that the Chamber does is bring together groups of people that have the same issue or that have the same want or need or are advocating for some sort of change. It's one thing to get one phone call, but it's entirely something else to have Elaine from the Chamber call you and says, hey, my members feel this way, we need to do this. And that to me is the real magic that occurs at the Chamber.
And that's part of what we do with our Voice of Business Committee, and we strategically have named it Voice of Business because that's what it is. We're trying to amplify that voice to make sure people know how their decisions, elected official decisions, are impacting business. Because the businesses, that's what our economy is. That's where the money comes from. That's where the jobs come from. So if we don't do things to take care of business people and businesses in Minnesota, it's not a good picture for anyone.
So we're not real. I would much rather refer to Chamber members as employers rather than businesses, because that's really our purpose in the state economy is to provide not only economic vitality and growth, but employment. That's really our first objective. And sometimes we miss telling that story. When you advocate for yourself and your business, I think it's important to come to the table with a solution. A lot of times we'll get people that'll, come to us and say, oh, my property taxes are too high. Okay. I will probably agree with you. Here's an area of spending that I think is unnecessary, so that the message is a little more comprehensive. Not only do we need to come to the table with solutions, but we need to increase the volume that we talk with and the frequency that we talk with as business people, so that we can advocate for a better business climate in Minnesota that matches our, some would say, very excessive tax climate. My advice is, anytime you feel like, there's something that doesn't make sense from a regulation, from a rules standpoint, from a process or permitting or whatever standpoint, get involved, raise your hand, and tell your story.